What's good, Council of Comics? It's the Film and Box Office News Podcast, episode 32. We're doing the Goonies. Hey, you guys!
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life.
Into what we came here for, or our featured part of today's stream, and it is, get up there, the Goonies.
Woo! By the way,
Goonies.
Jesus Revolution cost $15 million to make.
There you go.
Really?
The Goonies. This movie has got everybody in it. Everybody.
And they're doing a remake.
They keep. You know what? By the way, do we want that? Because after the Willow fiasco, I don't think I want any. I think we need to let it go. I think we really need to just let it go.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
if they
as
say
long as
Goonies
they
series
bring
on Disney
everybody
Plus,
back.
no. I'll be like, no, don't do it.
But this
What was
movie's got
that? I missed
everything.
that.
It's directed by Superman and Scrooge director Richard Donner. It's produced. The story is by Steven Spielberg. The screenplay is by Chris Columbus, director of the first 3 Harry Potter movies.
Mm-hmm. And Home Alone.
And Home Alone. This movie's got everything. Sean Astin is in it. A young Josh Brolin is in it. Martha Plimpton is in it.
It's got one of the Coreys.
It's got Corey Feldman and Ki Kwan is also in it. This movie's got everybody.
And it's got who's the old woman from Throw Mama from the Train is in it.
Oh, Throw Mama from the Train Lady. Hold on. Let me find her.
Remember?
Chunk.
Who's this? It's my cousin Patty. You don't have a cousin Patty. Oh.
Listen, this was that movie that was, you'd hope that you and your friends could stumble upon some kind of adventure like this. You know what I mean? You go digging in the woods.
Anne Ramsey is the woman's name. Also, her full name, Angelina Ann Ramsey Mobley. But Anne Ramsey played the character.
This was a movie that when the pandemic happened and it told us everyone to stay home, I started showing because I'm home all the time now. I started showing my sons movies from the 80s. I'm like, oh, we're going to start watching this movie and this and that. And I remember sitting down, putting this on, and RJ goes, I don't want to watch this. I'm like, sit down, you're watching this movie with me. And about halfway through, he turns to me and goes, this is pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I'm only showing you the good ones from the 80s. I'm not showing you some of the crap that I had to watch. This is one of the good ones.
Did you watch The Lost Boys with them?
Yeah, I agree.
I did not watch The Lost Boys with them, but I do like The Lost Boys.
Are you? How many years are you waiting before you expose them to The Lost Boys?
Oh man,
I mean,
we gotta do a show on The Lost Boys.
Huh?
We gotta do a show on The Lost Boys.
I'll watch it.
We definitely gotta do a show on Lost Boys.
Like I said, I would have watched The Thing today, but
Love
if I
that
was gonna
movie.
rewatch something, I can't watch that with them.
Oh my god! And Lost Boys has both the Coreys, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
there you go.
The Frogman.
Yeah.
Oh, The Lost Boys. I thought you were talking about this. I'm sorry.
So yeah, this has a star-studded cast that wasn't a star-studded cast just yet. Some of the names you knew from certain places, like Data, he was in Indiana Jones.
Mr. Jones, Dr. Jones,
which came out.
And Josh
Dr.
Brolin
Jones,
was the
you
son of
Dr.
James Brolin, so that's a whole thing.
Yes,
This is
Thanos
kind of
himself.
the movie that launched Sean Astin, right? Like I think he might have done a couple things before this, but this was his
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
This was a big deal for him. But he had a
what's
few
her,
big
the
deals.
Plumber. Isn't Amanda Plummer in this? She's
Amanda Plummer?
She's the girlfriend's friend. She's not the girlfriend.
Don't you mean Martha Plimpton?
Martha Plimpton. I said
Right,
Amanda
my
Plummer,
precious
sorry.
Martha Plimpton.
Yes, that's
who
what I
is
meant to say.
who was in The Parenthood, Samantha,
Yes.
starred in the series Raising Hope. starred in the series The Real O'Neills, which unfortunately I'm mad
I
at
like that.
ABC for
That was a
canceling
fun
it.
show. I like that show.
That show was great. It
I
was
like the
ruined by
older brother.
stupidity.
The older brother was an idiot, but I loved him.
And he's on Lopez versus Lopez now.
I can't watch that show. George Lopez. I don't find George Lopez funny, so I can't watch it.
I'm
I used to
enjoying
find
it
him
because
funny.
that's his real
Not
daughter.
anymore.
Okay.
What's some of your favorite scenes from this film? Let's start with you. What's some of your
Chunk
favorite
Shuffle.
scenes from this movie?
The Chunk Shuffle.
The
Shuffle,
No, there's
shuffle.
where I think I think it's happens on the pirate ship where he like the pirate spins around in the chair. Like that like iconic scene is probably, I think it happens like way later in this whole story, but they're on like the pirate ship and it's One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie?
Yeah, it's One-Eyed Willie. Like he kind of just spins around. It's him. And it's like a perfectly preserved skeleton. It's an iconic shot. It's an iconic moment now.
Truffle Shuffle.
Cliff.
The Truffle Shuffle.
Well,
I'm not going to go
guy,
to
go ahead.
Trouble Shuffle.
That's your favorite scene?
No, my favorite scene, and it's because ever since I was a kid, it was drilled into me when they pop out of the water and see the boat.
Yes.
Right? That scene is so amazing, especially seeing it as a kid in the theater. It really grabbed me. But then, as time continued and I kept seeing behind the scenes and interviews, even at a young age, you know, when they would do the behind the scenes on television, right? And it was like a really big deal making that scene. And
it's a real boat in that scene.
It's a real boat. And Richard Donner like went crazy making the real boat. He's like, I can't wait for the kids to see it. I can't wait for the kids to see it. And he's like, don't tell them anything. We're just going to record the reaction when they come out of the water. They all came out. They were so stunned. Every filthy thing came out of their mouth. And he's like, oh, we can't use that take?
Yeah.
Every single one of them was swearing when they saw the ship. So my young mind immediately connected my impression of the ship in the movie theater with that story. And as a result, it's just been my absolute favorite scene in the whole movie. Like, I love the movie, but like that scene, like it's all like imprinted in my mind like that.
One of my favorite scenes, and it's more of like a drama moment, is when one of the kids is like, up there it's their time, down here it's our time, it's our time down here. And then they were taking the coins from the wishing well. And Corey Feldman's character goes, well, yeah, you see this one? I did this one. It never came true. So I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back. I was like, that's so good right there. And he just like dunks himself in the water. I thought that was pretty cool.
I like the scene where Josh Brolin finally gets out of the chair and he runs outside and takes the little girl's bike. And then you see him riding away with his knees in the face. No, really.
Is that where they fall through and it's like a water slide is a pretty like intense.
Yeah. And it looked pretty scary because they had the sticks coming out.
Yeah.
Like pointing down. I was like, oh, okay. All right, kids, when we film this scene, don't lift your heads. You're gonna die. You could die. Just don't lift your heads. Because it's not CGI, it's practical back then. So I'm pretty sure it was like a foamy thing that wouldn't have hurt them, but still what it is. Great characters in this movie. Who's your favorite?
I kind of like Data.
Data. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Data.
And I'm not sure if it's just because I really enjoy him or because I was carrying on my enjoyment of him from Indiana Jones when I saw this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've rewatched it and I still am most charmed by him.
Question: who played the guy with Chunk?
You mean the guy?
Hey, you guys!
Yeah, hey, you guys!
John Matuszek. It looks like he was a football player.
Now, is that prosthetic
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm seeing the guy's real face.
Oh, okay. Because I always wondered,
I don't know
because
if
it
you can
looks
see
so
my
real.
phone.
I always thought if that was
This
real
is
or
what it
not.
looks like without the prosthetics.
Oh, okay. Excellent. But yeah, his performance is great. I thought when he couldn't get
His
to
performance
the
is great.
what you call it, when they gave him the food or something like that, and they put it out of his reach, and then Chunk kind of like pushes it toward him, and then he finally gets it, and he's like, ah,
The Baby Ruth, right?
yeah.
By the way, John Matuszak is a former Oakland Raider.
Yeah, I was just reading that now.
Yeah. He was a defensive end when was this? In 1973 to 1981? 82. So he was Houston Oilers in 73, Texans in 74, Kansas City Chiefs 74-75, Redskins in 76, and 76 to 82, the Oakland Raiders. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion.
It had to be with the Raiders.
Wow.
How about I forgot Joey
Silver
Pants
and
in this
black.
movie.
Which one?
Both
Who's that?
time we're with the Raiders.
Joe Pantoliano. He's one of the goons.
Oh, the Mamma Mia, the one that sings in there.
Right.
Anyhow, I mean, let's actually talk about the movie. The
Those
movie's
guys-
like a
the
really
Fratelli.
good treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm. Now refresh me. The father
With a lot of little
is
ups
losing
and
his job
downs.
at the beginning.
What was that? Both of you crossed
Yes,
over each other.
because
I was gonna say
they're shutting down the they're shutting down the museum or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get to spend their last day or something together, and they just end up on an adventure.
Right.
It starts with they're up in the attic looking for stuff.
Yeah, they
Looking
find the
through all
gold
the old
doubloon.
stuff, and they come upon they find the doubloon, all the other stuff,
treasure
and
map.
they just set out on an adventure. They meet the Fratellis at
The
cabin.
doubloon that if you found in real
treasure
life, you
map.
could pay off your house's mortgage.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's not ever worry about moving.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy was an executive producer back then?
She's with Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
She was on a lot of those
Yeah.
movies, Indiana Jones and stuff. Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman photos.
I just love that.
we
vlog
gotta
on
do
a
a show of
director.
Pee Wee's.
You know, I've never seen it.
It's a great.
What,
picture.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
I've never seen any of them.
Oh,
I
you
wa-
gotta see the first two. You gotta
What? Are you crazy?
I'm not.
Yo, you gotta see them, man. They're classics. They're classics.
They really
These
are.
are good black and white photos.
It's so funny. how
Ye
they all
intruders
look like
beware. This was a good scene when she has to play the piano keys,
Yes.
but she's barely played piano, so she only knows like certain things. That was a pretty cool
Right.
scene.
And it's upside down at first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they get in that ship at the end with all the gold and the treasure. That's pretty cool. But then the Fratellis meet up with them and they do something and the boat gets released from the cave. And at the end, they don't have any of the treasure, but Mouth has was it Mouth or was it the other one that has a bag full of jewels? And that's like one of my favorite scenes too, when the maid lady is like, "No, Peterman, no, Peterman," and they're like, "Translate." He's like, "No, pen, no sign." And then she dumps the little treasures in her hand.
Yeah. But they, I was gonna say that then they trigger a cave in, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, because they weren't supposed to take. Remember, he was like, Mouth is about to take something out of the Willie's hand or Willie's
Yes.
tray, and then they stop him and say, "No, that's for Willie. He gets to keep that." But when the Fratellis come, they take that, and it kind of triggers the.
Well, and that's how they get separated. Remember, because they're in the cave with the ship, and the Fratellis can't get to them because it caved in. But they don't care because they're like, the kids are gonna suffocate in there, and then they kind of go about their way. Remember?
Yeah, and then there's a famous scene. Hey, you guys, Captain Chunk. So almost nearing the end. Let's talk about what they're might be planning to do for continuing this.
Well, I mean, a new generation of kids. The only way you could make it like a little bit fun for the two generations is like the parents like realize what their kids could be up to, you know, or maybe it's a different kind of mystery, and the parents are on one little quest, and the kids are on another one, and they're actually coming together.
Yeah,
you know, and even do that thing where like halfway through the movie, where each one of them thinks that they've got it, and then mayhem ensues, and then they switch up, and half the kids are with half the parents in two new groups. Till we get
as long as they don't Jurassic Park, the last Jurassic Park movie, where it's two plots going on. And
you got to put a lot of effort into this.
I mean, to me, you find a reason for everybody to come back to town. Like, not you don't want to kill a character off, but maybe
who
Sean
still lives in the town? Who still lives in the town?
Well, I would think Corey Haim's character never gets out of that town.
Right. So, like, should we pretend that he's actually successful later in life, and he hosts a reunion like every couple of years?
Well, I'm thinking, which I mean, this is just me spitballing, but also Sean Astin's parents still live in town, and maybe one of them has passed away, and the final one passes away, so they're all coming back to town. Or a handful of them are coming back to town because they're there for the funeral to say, hey, we're still friends or whatever. We haven't seen each other in a while. Because I've done that in real life where you see people's at a funeral for their parents you haven't seen in forever. And then someone's cleaning out the house and finds, oh, by the way, all that stuff we found years ago, there was this whole box that we just never saw. And then another adventure ensues.
I mean, who's to say they left the town?
There's that too.
Because they paid off all the debt.
I was gonna say that one family, it's not likely they're sticking around. You know, I mean, they went through bankruptcy and everything. They were back to go.
Well, I thought the main family, I would think they would stay because remember he's ripping it up. It's like nobody's going anywhere now, ever. You know what I mean? So I would think that family would stay. I could see like Data going off to like college.
Correct.
And going away.
Oh my God. Stuff. You know, it'd be great if Data comes back and he's all very Indiana Jones like.
Yes.
That'd be great. We're still rooting for that cameo in Indiana
Or
Jones, man.
You do the trophy at the wedding and everybody shows up at it too. But
you could do that
Sean
too.
Astin's like, oh, by the way, and then no, we're not doing that. We're adults. We don't do this crap anymore. But I need really, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how do we want to include the adults?
Now, apparently, they're trying to get everybody that's still alive back.
No, that's one thing. But back to be what? To be supporting cast or to have a role in the adventure? I'm a fan of having a role in the adventure just so that, like,
you think it would be a better movie or a better, like, series?
Movie.
Oh, God, movie. No, I'm scared of another series.
Yeah, we're scarred by Willow right now.
We got so invested.
I'm just
that's because Iger came in and told Lucasfilm, you are only to focus on Star Wars. You cannot do anything else. And that's why the Indiana Jones series was canceled and why Willow was canceled. Because they want Star Wars to be that main thing, man, and it hasn't been lately. But for this, I agree with Cliff. I would want the parents to be kind of more of the focus and the kids being a supporting role.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I want equal time.
I would.
I want equal.
Nah, because
I don't need another Ghostbusters movie. I want this to be them.
Yeah.
No, see, this is a problem though. These people are not young. The only one who's in shape is Josh Brolin. All right, I can't have Martha Plimpton running around doing stunts.
Why
You
not?
know?
That's what makes it fun. Like she's like, I'm going for this.
You do. No, you gotta have it balanced. You gotta have it balanced. I like the dual adventure thing. Let the parents do more serious, more adult stuff, and the kids do the real trouble stuff, crawling into the dark, horrifying spaces, that sort of thing. You know? And let's not crap on Ghostbusters Afterlife, because I love that movie.
I did too. I really enjoyed that movie. I'm not.
I thought it
but
was
reboots
good.
it in a different way. I want this movie to be more nostalgic because I get the characters that I loved from before back. I don't need another movie with brand new people.
And I want to blend, right? I want us to see the parents interacting with the kids. I want to see the kids acting like their parents, right? Like you can just tell who's kid.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want the kids to pull focus from the parents, because I'm okay with this being the last final will and testament for the Goonies universe. I don't need this to spin off and have the kids doing like 6 more movies.
Yeah, like I need a scene where what's not Corey Feldman, the other one, Sean Astin. I need a scene where they look at each other and say, "We're gonna do this again."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can see them two saying, "Yeah, let's do it again." But they need to listen. If you're gonna take time to work on this, take time, make the script good. Like back in the days, like make this phenomenal. Don't rush this. You know what I mean? Don't do any of that. Don't Disney Plus it. Just make it what it is.
And we're also being very cruel. Don't Disney Plus it. Disney Plus has given us some very solid things.
Andor, Mandalorian.
No, these are solid stuff. Yes.
Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur.
But they've also given us some horrible things.
The first 2 episodes of Willow.
Like
the first 2
She-Hulk,
episodes.
I'm sorry, like She-Hulk. Like even though I liked it a little bit, I was like, you could have did so much better on this.
I can't wait to see She-Hulk in a movie.
Yeah,
with like a bigger budget to style her out.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I think that her next appearance is in Captain America: New World Order. The next Captain America.
Have you seen the cast for that?
Huge.
It's big.
Huge. So they're basically saying Captain America: New World Order is Hulk 2, Incredible Hulk Part 2. Because they just brought Liv Tyler back.
I could see that.
There's set leaked photos. She's at a funeral. There's other set photos of Harrison Ford. It's going to involve some mutant stuff is going to be in it. Adamantium's going to be in it.
Oh! Tim Blake Nelson's coming back. Which means
Blake Nelson, Peter's coming back. Yeah.
They're bringing,
So it has to be they're bringing the heat. All right, so that's the Goonies. Loved movie by us here.
Classic movie.
Classic. If you have not seen the Goonies and you've not seen it with your kids, you need to go see it with your kids. You go rent it on streaming, whatever you got to do to get it. It is a classic movie. So
one of the best things to come out of the 80s.
Definitely. A lot of good things came out of the 80s that we take for granted. Damn, the 80s were like 40 years ago, bro.
Yeah, well, you know what's wild about you watch 80s movies now, there's things that you're like, ooh, that didn't age well. But
nope.
As soon as a movie starts, I'm like, that's an 80s movie. Not just the resolution, because you can fix that with 4K, but the way it's shot, the soundtrack.
The graininess of it is what I love.
I do. I do too.
Like that Indiana Jones, Star Wars graininess. Like I love that about a movie. I'm not too. Yes. That's why when they do like newer movies, like part 2s that are newer, and it looks different, it kind of throws me off. You know what I mean?
When it gets too clean.
Yeah. When it gets too clean. All right.